put on an apron whether or not I'm cooking for the second half, so that when you go back and watch these, you will know which part is the first part and which part is the second part, because the second part always has an apron. And because this seems like it's going to be a little bit of work for this science experiment, I'm going to go ahead and get my hair out of my way. And I don't know if you all noticed or not, but for Friday, I had, on that weekly planner we were talking about, I had to do this while I was in a calm, cool state. So on Friday, on the planner, I have, okay, little piece of hair. On Friday, I have workout at 5:30. That's with Gary. Be at work by 7. Finish. I changed it from all designs to 2 designs. Make and eat lunch. And then be at Alyssa's track meet by 5:30 and make and eat dinner. Friday is my birthday. So the only things that are going to get done on Friday is working out. Mom in this cool state is working out with Gary at 5:30, being here at work by 7, working on my designs, or telling people, hey, it's my birthday. Do not have to wait till Saturday. Making and eating my lunch, because I will also be at work by myself. No one is working with me Friday, and I definitely want to be at Alyssa's track meet for my birthday. So that's how I'm planning on spending my birthday. Okay, so the second half of tonight's chat is a science experiment. Part of the experiment is going on over here as we speak, and has been going on for an hour and 36 minutes. Okay, last year I had a garden. This year I have a garden. I've planted things in different quantities this year than I did last year. And last year I planted in different quantities than I did. I know, I'm sorry. Barbara said, oh my gosh, it's going to be Friday the 13th. Yes, yes. And Friday the 13th is always my favorite day. And when I was 13, I turned 13 on Friday the 13th. So I love Friday the 13th. Okay. And I love that movie. And Friday the 13th, the movie Friday the 13th, Jason came and did all his stuff at the camp on Friday, June the 13th, 1980. I turned 13 on Friday, June the 13th, 1980. Okay, how coincidental is that? 13 on the same day that Jason, came to the camp. Okay, so just in case kids are watching, I'll just say that's it. That's all I'll say about that. Okay, so this year I planted different quantities of things and a couple of different things in my garden than I did last year. Last year I planted differently than I did the year before, and that year before, that 2 years ago, was still downtown. This one is in our raised bed garden that is behind Casey's house. And I've been trying to tweak it. So first year of me having a garden without my mom here was mayhem. I planted all the wrong things. I killed half of them. The birds carried off half of them, even though my mom had told me what to do about that. I didn't really listen to her. I planted things that in the wrong season. It was just, whatever. Then I went and bought bushels of green beans and bushels of peaches and bushels, and they were like tons, like quarts or gallons of all these things, with the grandiose ideas that I was going to can all this. I only got green beans and peaches successfully canned that year. Then, then the next year I tried fermenting for all my extra produce. That is not for me, y'all already know that. Then I tried pickling. That worked pretty well. But there's only so many pickled vegetables you can eat. So last year I tried, and I haven't tried any of these. I've been waiting almost an entire year to try this, just to see if this would really, what was it I heard today? Track, to see if this would track. And I think that means would be about right. Is that correct? If we have anybody here that's under the age of, say, 35, y'all let me know if that's the correct use of that term. So I waited a whole year to see if this would track. And if I'm not using that correctly, I apologize. Lily, Casey, Kelsey, I apologize. Okay, so last year I had too much yellow squash. I had too much straight neck zucchini. I had too many tomatoes. I mean, how can you have too many tomatoes? I had too many tomatoes. And I did not have enough jalapenos, but I love them. And I knew I was going to plant more this year, so I wanted to see how this would work. So I tried drying, dehydrating for the first time. And if this works, I don't know, I'll start saving my money for a freeze dryer or something. So I read a book from a lady last year who only dehydrates, only freeze dries her produce from her garden. She has stopped canning. I'm not saying I'm going to stop canning, because now that I kind of know how to do it, kind of have the hang of it, I'm not going to stop that, but I wanted to try this. So this is zucchini. This is dried zucchini from last year, dehydrated zucchini from last year. This is dehydrated jalapenos from last year. I will say this, one of the recipes I saw for the dehydrated jalapenos was to grind them, and it said you do need to wear goggles and a mask, because apparently if you try, and I'm not grinding them, but if you try to grind them, apparently that dust can make some, and I imagine it can make some pretty noxious things that you need to protect yourself from. These are dehydrated yellow squash, and these are dehydrated Roma tomatoes. So the dehydrated look just like they did when I dehydrated them last year. They smell good. That actually smells like sun-dried tomatoes. It smells like squash. It smells like peppers. I don't know if it smells like jalapeno peppers or not, but it smells like peppers. It smells like zucchini. No mold, no issues. I kept them airtight in jars with the lids on in a cool, dry space. So I'm feeling good about my food safety here. But this is where the science comes in. We're going to try and rehydrate them. So I just heated some water in the microwave because I did a little research, not a lot. Went to the library, looked online, did not look at any TikTok videos, but I did see a common theme with everyone who was rehydrating vegetables. They all seemed to do two different methods, or offer two different methods. Some of them had a third method, but I've chosen the two that were the most common. So we'll get to the second one here in a second, and then we're going to see how all this checks out, just to make sure that it looks like it's supposed to. So this one is rehydrating using boiling water. So you're supposed to do 2 parts water to 1 part of the dehydrated fruit or vegetable to rehydrate it. I'm not going to do a ton of each one of these, because then if they do rehydrate correctly, then I will have to do something with these pretty quickly once they're rehydrated. So the first one is zucchini, the second one is the jalapenos. I do want to get these lids back on here well, so we don't accidentally let any moisture in. It's pretty humid outside today. This one is the yellow squash. So again, 2 parts of water to 1 part of the dehydrated vegetable or fruit. And apparently things like corn takes an extra long time, but because these started out as very thinly sliced, kind of water-borne vegetables anyway, method number 1 said to take the hot water, and I am not measuring 2 parts to 1 part, but to take, that is indeed hot water, to take the hot water, pour it over the top of the dehydrated vegetables to rehydrate them, and let them sit for 10 to 15 minutes. So basically, I guess it's rehydrating them and cooking them a little bit. And Carol Lou, because I don't have a dehydrator, I would love to have a dehydrator or a freeze dryer, but because I don't have a dehydrator, I painstakingly took the jalapeno one is potent, just rehydrating it. I painstakingly took the time and hours to dehydrate these in the air fryer. So I sliced them super, super thin, and then I dehydrated on a really low temperature for hours last year. So we've got zucchini, and let's see, we don't really have 15 minutes. Dang it, I talked too much. Jalapenos, yellow squash, and tomatoes. So those are in the hot water bath, and it's supposed to be 10 to 15 minutes. These though, this next group, these are the ones that have been sitting in room temperature water for an hour and like 44 minutes now. So here is the zucchini. There's the zucchini. Here is the jalapenos. This one is the yellow squash. And once you do this too, you should probably use the water that's going to be left over to compost. That's a whole nother story. And then here are the tomatoes. Okay, so one more little step to this. So the ones that have been sitting here for an hour and now about 45 minutes are looking pretty plump. I'm thinking this is about as plump as they're going to get. I have opinions on whether or not this worked. But until I actually try these, I don't know if I'm going to know if they work. So, as a comparison, I have, let me scoop these up a little bit. As a comparison, now do any of you all dehydrate? Is there anybody out there who's a pro who can give me some advice on, did I do it right? Did I do it wrong? Is there anything I should do any differently? Any pros out there? So we're going to make a couple of slices of each one that's about as thin as I started with, just to see how they compare. So here are the slices of the zucchini. Of course, this zucchini doesn't have as many seeds. Let me see if I can get to the part, just so that we're doing apples to apples. There we go. Okay. So here are 3 slices of zucchini that are about, the same thickness. Then I'm going to skip the jalapeno until last because I don't want everything else to taste like jalapeno. Okay, then I'm going to do 3 slices, thin slices of yellow squash. This year in my garden, I am trying, I'm trying okra, but something keeps eating it. And then Kelsey talked me into trying a zucchini instead of a straight neck zucchini. It's one called Rempicante. I'm really hoping that it's going to turn out. So here are my oh, Carol Lou's son dehydrates meat to make jerky. Awesome. Yeah. So here are the 3 yellow squash slices. Then I'm going to try and get this tomato as thin as I got it. I'm only going to make 2 little slices of it. So here are the slices of, oh yeah, thanks Barbara, that would be great. So there are the slices of the tomatoes. And last but not least, the slices of jalapenos. Now, the guy at the grocery store today, I'm sure, so bless his heart, his name's Earl, and if you all happen to shop in Knoxville, Earl works at the Kroger on Broadway on Sunday afternoons, and he is adorable, and I will wait in line to get Earl. And I know he thought I was crazy because I bought 1 yellow squash, 1 straight neck zucchini, and 1 jalapeno and 1 tomato to make sure that I got exactly the same kind that I had dehydrated. And there are my jalapenos. So now let's see what these, of course now my hands smell like jalapenos. And let's see, Vicki says, ooh, she dehydrates apples, pears, and all fruits. Interesting. So yeah, so how does that turn out? Okay, here, again, there are the zucchini that are rehydrated. Doesn't really look like, these are the ones that are rehydrated in the hot water. Here are the ones that are rehydrated in the water for 2 hours. Again, it just smells like zucchini. So this rehydrated zucchini would probably be good if I wanted to further slice it up and make like some zucchini bread. You could probably do that with some spirals or something. A zucchini bake, it would be great for that. I'm gonna skip to the yellow squash because 2 of these are looking better than the others. So yellow squash, not bad. So the zucchini's okay. The straight neck zucchini is doing okay. This one is the yellow squash in the hot water. This one is the yellow squash in, it's been sitting for an hour and 40 something minutes. And this is just a thinly sliced regular squash. So not bad. Not bad at all on the yellow squash. It is rehydrating quite nicely. Of course, this was a bigger squash, but it is rehydrating quite nicely. So I'm going to say yellow squash is probably a winner. Next is the tomatoes. This is the tomato. This is aroma tomato. This is the one that is rehydrating in the warm water. This is the one that is rehydrating for an hour and 45 minutes now. And here is a thinly sliced, same kind of aroma tomato. So if you were going to cook with this, not bad. The rehydrating is actually doing pretty well. The one that's just been sitting for 2 hours is doing the best. So that one looks the closest to this. So I think the tomatoes, so for the zucchini, the straight neck zucchini, I would probably just put it in something and just bake it rather than try and rehydrate it. And I have not forgotten the jalapenos. The yellow squash, I think you could pat this dry after these are rehydrated and either pan fry it, or you could use this to bake. You can make like a squash casserole or something like that. These tomatoes are plumping up just like the tomatoes were. Now you wouldn't want to dice these up and make a salad or anything with them, but I think this would be really nice like on the top of spaghetti, or on the top of pizza or something like that. So these are plumping up very nicely. The ones that have done the best though are the jalapenos. I'm shocked. So these are the jalapenos that are in the warm water. These are the jalapenos that have been sitting here for 2 hours, almost 2 hours. Here is a thinly sliced fresh jalapeno. And now I know it's not as bright green, but look how close that is. I mean, it is reconstituting even to almost the same thickness. And then this is one that's been sitting for 2 hours. That's pretty darn close. Like, it's the same size. It has rehydrated. I know the middle of it just fell out, but it has rehydrated to the same size. Of course, it's not as bright green because it's not fresh, but that's pretty darn close. Like, I would dice these up and put them on a taco or use it for salsa or something like that. That would be really good. Oh yeah, Lynn says the rehydrated veggies are great to use in a soup. And you know, if you were making soup, you probably wouldn't even have to rehydrate them. You probably could just dump the dried veggies into your stock pot or whatever you're making your soup with, you know, and do it that way. So I'm gonna say, this is our science experiment, and we only have just a couple of minutes left. So I'm gonna say for our science experiment that the jalapenos did the best. They were neck and neck with the tomatoes. So the tomatoes did really well. The rehydrated tomatoes, the ones that were rehydrated for a couple of hours, those did really well, like really, really well. The jalapenos, again, the ones that were left for a couple of hours, I mean, look how nice that looks. I think those have done way better than the ones that were rehydrated with heat. Probably neck and neck on the yellow squash. It's looking pretty good either way. The zucchini, I don't know, maybe they were too thin to start with. This again, I don't know, that one's not too bad. might need to be a little bit thicker. Maybe I did them too thin, but again, these would be great in a casserole. These would be great, you know, combined with something else. So that is our science experiment done. If you all have any tips or tricks for drying things, if you, you know, if you know some other way to try it, I would love to try some of the apples and things that y'all were talking about. But if y'all have any other ideas, it was extremely time consuming last year, but I did it here at work. So I would just slice them up really thin, put them in the air fryer, put them on a really, really low heat. I think the lowest mine will go to is let's just look real quick, is 180. So I put them on 180 and I just kept going for hours and hours and hours and hours until they were the right consistency to be considered dried. But if anybody has a dehydrator or a freeze dryer, if you've had some really good success with it, let me know, because we would love to hear about it. But I hope this helped with something. I think I'm going to try drying some more this year, the things that I end up with a good harvest of, which doesn't seem like it's going to be okra. I'm so irritated with whatever keeps eating my okra plants. But hopefully that's going to help somebody out. So y'all have a great week. Thank you so much for being here. I do hope that you will hop over and just sign up for, follow me. I don't know what you do on TikTok. Whatever you do on TikTok, I hope you'll go do it. It's just @_IfYouHaveAnEgg. So I hope y'all will go do that. We only need 9,000, I don't even know what the number is, 9,958. Maybe not, no, 48. 9,900, I only need 9,948 people, to go over there and, and follow me or subscribe or whatever it is you do over there. But y'all, thank y'all for the early birthday wishes. I think a track meet is the perfect way to spend my birthday, so I'm super excited about that. But y'all have a great week. If you're watching this on YouTube, that's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. Go ahead and let that next video roll over. The next one's going to be a little, because it's the one from the not campground. But yeah, you'll still like it anyway. It's fun. So let that next video go ahead and roll over, and pretty please hit that subscribe button and click that little bell. That's free. It's free to hit the subscribe button, and it's free to click the bell. And did you know that only like 20% of the people who watch our videos on YouTube, only like 20% of those people actually subscribe? It's for free. It's for free, and you don't have to go hunt it down. You already know when the new videos get posted. But anyway, y'all have an amazing week. I'll check in with you by Friday, so I'll let you know how my birthday is working out. But y'all have an amazing week. Knoxville girls, I will see you Tuesday night, okay? So Pinky promised me, I need the Knoxville girls, Knoxville, Fountain City, Halls, Powell, Clinton, I need y'all to Pinky promise me that you will be there on Tuesday night. We will not lose this meeting, okay? If I can help it, we will not lose this meeting. But y'all have a great week, and I will see you next time. Good night.